So many people today wrestle with the subject of forgiveness. They have a difficult or even impossible time forgiving someone else for a wrong they feel has been done to them, or maybe a wrong they feel has been done to someone they love. They're offended. They can't seem to let go of the offense. Some people don't even want to let go of the offense. They want to hold on to that grudge that they have against another person. Gene Edwards tells the story in his book, The Tale of Two Kings, about Saul, who was king of Israel. And God had determined that he was going to take the kingdom away from Saul because of things Saul had done. In the process, God led the prophet Samuel to find Saul's successor and anoint him as king in Saul's place. You can read the story in 1 Samuel 16. God led Samuel to a little shepherd boy named David in the house of Jesse. And there, to the amazement of Jesse and David himself, Samuel anointed David with oil as the king of Israel. It was some time between David being anointed as king and David taking his place as king. During that time, Saul often would call for David to come and play the harp in order to soothe and comfort his emotions. Saul was being vexed with evil spirits. Sometimes the music from David's harp would calm Saul down. At other times, Saul would become even more incensed. He'd pick up a javelin and he'd hurl it towards David in an attempt to kill him. David was in a difficult position. He was anointed king, ultimately to replace Saul. The problem was Saul was still king, and he didn't seem to be going anywhere. So what was David to do when he was beckoned by Saul? He knew he quite possibly would once again be faced with the threat of death if Saul was to throw another spear at him. David had three choices. 1, he could stay away from the presence of the king. 2, he could learn to be excellent at dodging those spears. Or 3, he could run the risk of getting hit by one of those spears. We all know people who have gotten hit by one of the spears thrown their way. As Edwards says, they turn a deep shade of bitter. We've all run into these kinds of people. They're usually angry, they're bitter, they want revenge. What do you do when you're hit by a spear? What do you do when you're offended by someone? Do you rip out that spear and do you hurl it back with as much force as you possibly can? Do you hold a grudge and offense until it begins to negatively affect even your health? You know, until you learn to release the offender and totally forgive them, you're going to be in change yourself. Your release is going to come when you first release the offender. You know, it's a tall order. It's difficult to do, and that's the subject of this series. Forgiveness. It can bring you the release that you need. God bless you.